What's the state of Hollywood right now? Well, this industry is made up of people, and I can tell you top to bottom, the people in this industry are nervous, scared, a little burned out, and ready for it to be over. Let's get some good advice about how we can live right now from a really unlikely source. What's the truth? You, me, and Hollywood are all in pretty bad shape right now. We're all distressed by what's going on within this industry, and we're all looking forward to an end and a return back to work for everyone, top to bottom in this industry. I found some words this week that really helped me feel better as I'm going through this journey. Based on what I'm reading on Twitter, I see a lot of you going through the same journey right now too. So let's turn to a really unlikely source to help us all feel better about the future of our industry and the future of our lives. Let's turn to Nobel Prize winning physicist Richard Feynman. Richard Feynman was a Nobel Prize winning American physicist from the 20th century. His projects included the Manhattan Project, amongst many others. I heard they made a movie about that recently. He was not just a scientist, though. He taught himself how to crack safes. He taught himself how to drum. He taught himself art. He was interested in humanity and all kinds of phases of life. And he went through some really tough times in his own life, including the death of his first wife by tuberculosis while he was working on the Manhattan Project. How he got past the obstacles in his life, I think, really relate to the obstacles that we as writers, as actors, as other members of this industry, especially the crews for production and post-production, who have been hit so hard by this strike are feeling right now. Feynman pointed us towards some answers that might make us all feel better, and this week in particular it felt like maybe a time to step back from screenwriting technique for a minute and just talk about the humanity of where we are and what we need to do to stay sane in this very, very tough time. What's Richard Feynman's first big piece of advice on how to live a tranquil and happy life during really turbulent times, especially when you're feeling them on the inside? His first advice was to read every day. And we're writers for the most part listening to these videos. I've got to imagine most of us are reading a lot. Let's put down our phones and grab a book sometime, which segues right into Feynman's second one, which was go out and get in touch with nature. Why not take that book and go sit in the park somewhere and sit and read for a little bit? We've got the time, right? What else did Richard Feynman say about keeping your head screwed on straight when your life is going through some turbulent times? He said that you should ask questions and you should never stop learning. Most of us here are writers. Most of us should never stop learning. Every new factoid, every new life, every new piece of information, every new system or mode that we pick up is a new thing incorporated into our work and just making us better. Richard Feynman said, don't pay attention to what people think of you. It's appropriate for us right now because I certainly know that pieces of the industry certainly don't think as much of us as we once thought. But beyond that, why should we worry what anybody else has to think besides ourselves anyway? It's our life. We're living it. We should be able to think and do and live as we please. Feynman said you got to do what interests you the most, and boy, I really believe in that, and I know that most of us ended up pursuing this career or in this career because we really wanted to do what we wanted to do the most, and that was to write movies and television. And now we're here and doing it, and at the moment, we're not able to do it, at least professionally, but we can all return to our roots and do it the way we started, which is as a fan. We can go write that thing that really matters to us in that way, outside of the business, outside of the industry, the one that you love. That's what I'm doing. Feynman really believed that you had to study hard to get ahead. And while he was talking about physics probably for the most part, he was also talking about life. You know what that means for us. I think we could study hard by digging into some of the past TV and movies that maybe we've missed, or some of the classics that we weren't able to take the time to learn from. Never going to be one of those people who thinks, well, if you don't know the classics, you can't do this job. But there are thousands of free lessons in character, dialogue, structure, and problem solving out there in the history of Hollywood. Take the time now and mine through some of that stuff. You're going to find gold. Feynman really believed that you should teach others what you know, and I followed that so hard in my own life that we're all here. All of us owe it to each other to make our community better by sharing what we know. Let's help each other out. We're all in this together. This isn't a zero-sum game. We all win when we all do well. Why? Because we got more good movies and TV. Why are we all here? Because we wanted more good movies and TV, right? Feynman said you got to make mistakes and learn. That's true in science, and that is true in the arts. He crossed over into both disciplines. We can borrow some of his scientific discipline to understand ours. You got to make mistakes to get better. Every mistake you make is another chance to learn. It sounds like a cliche, but sometimes cliches became that way because they were just so true for a while, you know? And how did Feynman wrap it all up? He gave us a reminder that it is okay not to know things. I've seen so many people get in trouble in this industry by pretending to know something that they just plain didn't. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you don't, just another chance to learn. Somebody very important in my life gave me Richard Feynman's autobiography, Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman, back when I was in high school. And I read that book cover to cover probably 10 times, and I took away from it so much more than science, so much more than a bunch of laughs. I took away from it a life philosophy and a life approach that I didn't realize really until now in the thick of the strike, just how deeply that had set into my life. So I'm forever grateful to Feynman, and I'm really grateful to all of you for being here. And I just want to say, now that we're in this time of extreme depths of this strike, and probably at a day count that nobody ever saw approaching, let's remember to be good to each other out there. Let's remember to find strength in each other, and let's remember that we are a community. We are all in this job together. We may have individually fought to get here, but every single one of us grew up experiencing the same things, feeling the same things, no matter who we are or where we came from. So let's remember how together we can actually be, even now, at the darkest depths of this time. Really appreciate you being here today. If you enjoyed any of this or if any of it was helpful for you, would really love it if you could like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out as we're trying to grow. We're trying to build a free, unlimited resource for screenwriters, tips, tricks, techniques, and actual live demos, all right here for free. We also have our Jeff Howard sessions, which are classes and programs and reads and consults, the information for which is available in the links down below. Hope to see you there sometime. Really enjoy being here. Thanks a lot and good luck to all of us.